live. Hey, you guys, girl, they are already in the room.
I see almost 30 people. Hi, everybody.
Yeah, I guess we're back to our regular time, and everybody is like, okay, because I know our last 2 weeks with this, with March Madness, and then the previous week I had some things going on. Listen, y'all was like, can we get back to regular scheduled programming? And so now
Our regular schedule
everybody is
program.
in here. How you guys
Look,
doing? What you say, Bree? Go ahead.
oh no, that they're looks like everyone's starting to kind of come in here. Hi, everybody. They want the regular schedule program.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, so welcome you guys to Soap Corner Talk. It's me, Bree, and Keish just slided in the back door.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like she's Leslie. Mm-hmm.
Right.
I'm Leslie.
Yeah, you Leslie, because you always be sliding in the back door.
Uh-huh. And you secretly got a Mary J. Blige wig on.
Oh man, girl, that is hilarious. And we're going to be recapping Young and the Restless, Bold and the Beautiful, Beyond the Gates for the week of March 24th through March 28th. Bold and the Beautiful. I mean, there's a few folks that I could give a star of the week this week. I mean, even on Young and the Restless, I gotta say, because I mean, I know some people don't like Phyllis's or Michelle Stafford's overacting, but I kind of felt sorry for the girl.
I did too. I love Phyllis. Phyllis she does a lot of wrong, but I like it. Keeps her interesting.
I know,
But
but the
I'm good
thing
with
is,
it.
when she was having that breakdown over at the athletic club after, and then with Billy, I'm like, the girl know how to play that emotion.
Yeah. Like it's good in situations where it's warranted. And this is a situation where she earned her breakdown.
Mm-hmm.
It's when she does it and it's not that big of a deal is when I think people complain mostly about her overacting some scenes.
Yeah, well, the breakdown when she's being manipulative.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. But when it's like this situation where she technically needs to go to therapy or something,
Yeah.
because I mean, obviously that was traumatic, and yeah, she is just lost in the sauce right now. So yeah, we'll talk more about that. So, for those that are new here, please hit the like button. Some of you probably already have, as you have been here for a little, about 10, 15 minutes before the show started. And then we usually do the Young and the Restless in the first half of the show, Bold and the Beautiful, and then we talk Beyond the Gates. And then we have segments, Flip the Script, Who's Taking Several Seats, Star of the Week, Pickle of the Week, and the Simp Olympics. And so that's pretty much how it's broken down. And then, of course, we see you guys. So we appreciate you coming out every week. And like I said, I know the last couple weeks have been early afternoon. But yeah, I know a lot of you guys get off work. Y'all get y'all wine and y'all tea, mimosas, popcorn, or whatever in the evening and come in and spend time with us. And we really appreciate all of it and all of you. All right, so without any other further ado, we're going to start with the Young and the Restless. Let's get this show on the road. I guess the first storyline we can get out the way is Adam and Chelsea. Now, I gotta say, I was a little bit okay with Adam and Chelsea bedroom scene. What did y'all think?
I was good with it. The music and it I didn't mind it. I think they've always had pretty good chemistry though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. It's just that everything around the ambience, because they were playing a little cat and mouse when they were sitting over by the chess table, and then they start playing the music to really start to set the mood for the scene. And then we got that bedroom action a little bit. And I think that's the same bedroom that he had Sharon in. Because I'm like, why am I getting deja vu moments? He didn't put her up on the wall like he did Sharon in 2019, but he did put her on that bed. So I was like, okay, I'll give it a B plus. What would y'all
It,
give it?
it seems like they're trying to amp up the love scenes, at least on Y&R from what I see. They're
Mm-hmm.
trying to amp it up. I wonder why. I wonder why.
Yeah, I wonder why. What about you? Oh, wait a minute. Thanks, Mari, for the super chat. She said, hey, ladies and everyone. Hope all is well with you guys and your families. Have a blessed weekend. You too, Mari. Thank you once again for the super chat.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Mari.
Keish,
Mm-hmm.
what'd you give it? Did you like the scene or was it like, eh?
It was cool.
Oh,
I
okay.
give it a I give it a B minus.
Okay, why
Okay.
you give it the minus? What could it had a little bit more of?
I feel like it could have been a little bit longer.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Like it didn't feel like a full love scene.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it I don't know. Like it wasn't bad, but it wasn't like wow that was great.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, it was I.
Yeah, it was cool. It was a typical love scene, I guess.
Okay, gotcha, gotcha.
Nothing over the
Is it
top, but it wasn't it wasn't like man that was awful or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
is it because we've been spoiled for a couple of weeks?
I mean, kind of, sorta. They kind of backed off a little bit. They came in strong, and then we
Mm-hmm.
kind of eased up on the love scenes on somewhere else. So I don't know. I'm like, wait, you can't start off like that and then don't give us a lot more. Yeah,
We didn't even there wasn't a love scene this week on
BTG. Nope.
yeah okay I didn't think so.
Mm-mm.
No.
Mm-mm. Yep. So, are you guys? I know Jay is a fan of Chelsea and Adam. Are you guys interested seeing where these two go? Or are you just like, okay, whatever, they're family, let's keep it moving? Because Connor
Um
is happy, so.
yeah I mean I'm indifferent to it. I don't dislike it.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not something that I've been like wishing for,
Okay.
but I also don't hate it either. Like
Mm-hmm.
they're fine together.
Mm-hmm.
I like seeing Adam happy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I thought the scene today was nice with his family, so it's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, let's talk about that because Victoria was really laying it on thick. And when she started talking about, oh my God, that is just so. And I'm like, huh? And
Right.
obviously, it showed true colors when she had her conversation first with Chelsea, her and Nikki, and then when she had a conversation with Nicholas. And I'm like, ah, there's the true Victoria.
Yeah, I wish they would just let this go. I'm so tired of the little petty snide remarks that they give Adam.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's gone on for too many years. It's unnecessary now. I'm not saying that they have to act like they're the best of friends or anything like that, but them still being skeptical of him and Nikki and her little, you got to watch out for him. Just be careful. Like, just let it go.
Well, here's
I
my
know.
thing. Oh, I'm sorry, Bree. Here's
No.
my thing is that they warning her about Adam when just 2, 3 years ago she tried to set him up for murder and poison Ray to death almost.
hmm
So I
Right.
mean, they need to be having the same speech with him too, if that's how you gonna look at it. Go ahead, Bree.
And I was about to say, like, while they saying watch out for Adam, watch out for Victor Adam
Right.
Senior. While they playing, especially Nikki, how can she sit there and say, Adam's up to no good? You just never know. You never know about your own husband.
Right.
Right.
And you don't even know what he's up to now. So
Mm-hmm.
stop it. And Victoria, what is she mad at now?
Yeah, because I
What
mean,
is the reason?
exactly. Because the thing is long, when Adam is happy, it's a good Adam. Just be
Hmm.
happy for the man.
Right. She never has a reason. She never really has a for real reason why she still shays at him.
Mm-hmm.
I
I
think it's just
Yeah.
part of her DNA now that she just does it like it's breathing.
I also think
And
there's a little bit of jealousy there too because she sees the connection that Adam has with Victor.
Hmm.
through the name, the fact that Adam is more educated, has more business sense than she does. And clearly, Victor is setting him up to take the throne more than her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There'll be a little something like that because it's definitely not going to be Nicholas. Nicholas doesn't even like to stay at his job. We have not seen him at his job in months.
Yeah, another
And that's
thing
funny.
is, at what point is Nick gonna stop playing Captain Save him? Because he's worried about, well, I tried to talk to Chelsea, It's like, dude, you already trying to save Phyllis and save Sharon, and you were a couple weeks or so ago trying to stop Chelsea. If he does something, let me know. It's like, dude, how many capes are you gonna put on?
Yeah.
He gonna wear them all though. You trying to, but I'm like, what are you worried about Chelsea for? Like, you're not even a thought for her at all. She's
Mm-hmm.
been focused either on Billy or now it's all about Adam and her family. She's not even thinking about you, sir. So why are you
Exactly.
giving her two thoughts?
Yeah, and then that whole conversation that Adam had about, it's inevitable you're gonna be with Sharon. And he talking about I never had a thought. You just told Sharon I thought about it, but I don't know if I want to deal with the history again. So you
I'm
thought
so
about it.
yeah, I'm so confused about what they're supposed to be doing with him. Like I don't get it. I feel
You know
like
what?
they. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I'll go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say I feel like they keep flirting with it and then they do a 180 away from it. And it's like the scene that we had last week of him asking her if she's thought about them reuniting,
Mm-hmm.
and then he's basically like, "Nah, that's not something I'm interested in, or something I want to do, or whatever." However he put it, and it's like, why even bring it up? I I don't
But I
understand.
thought he did say, yeah, he thought about it, but it was just too much history there.
He did,
Mm-hmm.
but I just hate the fact that they even like if they're not going to do this with Nick and Sharon, why are they giving us scenes as if they're flirting with the idea? Like just put them together by now, or let them both move on to other people.
Yeah.
They've done this like I feel like 3 or 4 times in the last 12 months.
Well, and that's why Adam is saying what he said in his dialogue, which was, I mean, as much as Nick is trying to deny, oh, it's just nothing really, and Adam was like, you've been ingratiated in her life lately more than ever.
Yeah. And
Mm.
to be very honest, I don't think that he really wants to be with Sharon.
It doesn't seem
I
like it.
it really doesn't. I don't think he wants to be with Phyllis either. I think because he knows that Sharon has had some mental stuff going on. Maybe he's trying to entertain it without, I don't think he wants to break her heart. So he'll say whatever because even the answer that he gave was a non-answer answer. It's like, oh, maybe I thought about it. It was no. But
Mm-hmm.
he's not directly telling her no, he doesn't want to be with her.
And
You,
I think that's
mhm.
crappy, considering their history. They're still friends. Like, just be honest with her. If you don't want to go there with her, then say that. But
But
stop acting like I don't know. It's like he acts like he wants to, but it's almost like he's teasing her. Like I'm just gonna pretend like I might want to reunite with you, but I really don't. Just to
he's
keep you
walking
on
on
the hook.
eggshells for her.
But wasn't he the one that brought it up?
I
Okay.
thought she brought it up.
No,
It was
it
something
was
that led to it.
Nicholas. It was
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like,
Nicholas.
why bring it up?
Yeah, because she was like, wait, do you actually think that we could have a future together? Because he once started that whole conversation.
And
Okay.
I'm not even. I've never been a Chic fan. I've always thought the two of them together were insufferable to me, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I've always liked them with other people, but I feel sorry for the Chic fans because I feel like for the last 2 years or so, they've been teasing this back and forth, or really ever since he broke up with Sally. I feel like they've been doing little things here and there to make us think that it's going to happen, and then they
Mm-hmm.
snatch it away. And it's like, it's just, I just don't understand why they keep doing that.
And on top of that, they allowed this man to save her. Like he helped save her from the Cameron Kirsten thing, and then all the stuff that just happened surrounding Heather's unaliving and the PCP and all that stuff because of Jordan and Ian. And then now with this thing that just happened with her and Phyllis, it's like they want this man to carry a cape and save the day, but usually when a man saves the day, he gets the girl in the end. He doesn't even care to have the girl. He just happy to wear his pressed out cape.
Yeah, and I just knew like this time this was gonna be it because he was way more heavy on the Sharon side of the story, between Sharon and Phyllis than he was with Phil, or making it equal or neutral across the board. He was heavily more involved, I feel like, with Sharon. So I'm like, okay, they must be finally, they're finally going to pull the trigger on this. And then nope, nothing.
Yeah, I don't. That whole thing, it just doesn't make any sense. They need to just go ahead and put them two together and call it a day. Just do it already. I mean, Sharon is definitely open and ready. I mean, we
Right.
saw her daydream about had a whole daydream about her. I mean, about him in for Valentine's Day. We saw her have when she was hallucinating and Nicholas
Mm-hmm.
came to the door and kissed her. She's ripe and ready. It's just what are they going to do about bringing Nicholas into it? And I'm wondering if it's about trying to test the water with the fans, if they're trying to see if the fans want a chic reunion or not.
I mean, if they haven't been able to tell in the last at least 12 months, I don't know what more they want.
Right.
I don't know what more they're trying to see.
And that's a good point, Keish. Remember Joshua and Morrow's 30th anniversary? They surrounded it with Sharon and Nick.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and they did the same thing with Sharon's when they had her standalone. Her whole standalone was basically about um her and Nick for the most part.
Right.
So it's a storyline that's leading to nothing. He saved her, leading to what? Them
Right.
being best friends forever?
Right.
Exactly.
And then I hate the way that they're even framing the story where Sharon, like you said, Sharon is having all these daydreams and fantasies and flashbacks of Nick, and Nick is doing none of that on his end.
Nope.
So it's almost like it's one sided.
Right. So I don't know.
Exactly. That's why I
Maybe.
said he's walking on eggshells.
Yeah. Maybe they just need to go ahead and just move this whole thing. And if you are listening, writers, make a decision. Either don't put them back together and tease it, or go
Mm-hmm.
ahead and move forward with Nicholas saying, "Hey, I want to be with you. Let's go."
Right.
And
And
let's
if they put them back together, just keep them together from now on.
right at this point, exactly. Because I mean, Nicholas has been with pretty much every single lady that's not related to him except for Lily
Mm-hmm.
And Chloe.
and Chloe. But
Yeah.
she's hardly ever on screen, just like her husband Kevin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And I agree with that. They should make Sharon and Nick kind of like a legacy couple, like the lapdog and Lauren.
right, yep. So, all right. Moving on. So, speaking of, because we started kind of talking about Phyllis. Phyllis is having a meltdown. I mean, after coming out of something like that, just jumping back into life don't work for some people, and one of those people is her. I mean, she's sitting at the GCAC at the table on. I mean, she was so fragile. Diane comes over there, and she was like, I'm sorry to hear what happened to you. And of course, Phyllis is like, no, you're not. And it just created a whole dynamic. And then she crashed out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then she tried to like come to, it's like she comes to her senses and then she crashes out, comes to her senses, crashes out. And she did that all within that time span. Diane was at that table. She was like, no, you're not. Oh, I apologize. I'm a different person. I'm a new person. And like, I can't take it anymore. Diane didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Uh, and to be honest, as a viewer, as a fan of Phyllis, I don't know what I guess is causing the crash out. I understand, like, if she's freaked out that that person's still out there and he could still, come and get her, I understand that. But, like, even with, like, last week, she was more mad at the fact that she made up with Sharon and she was confused on why she feels okay with forgiving her or something to that degree. And I'm like, you don't want to move on?
Right.
Is that why you're crashing out? I'm confused.
So the way she explained it was she was kind of what they call cognitive, in the middle of cognitive dissonance. So part of her still can't stand Sharon, but she also know that what they went through together, she should be grateful. So it's kind of like she's caught up in this conundrum. What do I do with all these feelings that I've carried for so many years? And now all of a sudden they haven't really gone away, but at the same time, I'm grateful because this woman saved my life. And so that on the fact of the matter of her trying to wrap her head around the trauma that came from that. I mean, that's a lot. Sharon seems to be handling it a little better because
Mm-hmm.
we remember we had Nicholas and Summer facilitate the two of them trying to, I don't know, talk this thing through. And they became somewhat cordial with each other because they, went through this thing together. But it seems like Sharon is functioning a little bit more, and obviously she's been through a lot in the past year, more than Phyllis. But I don't know. Phyllis is just emotionally volatile. Period. She's part of the
Yeah.
restless in the Young and the Restless.
That's
For 30
accurate.
years.
That's very accurate.
For 30 years. But I mean, with Sharon, she's on medication. She's
Uh
able to
oh,
kind of edge
Brew,
out her feelings.
Bree, you kind of spaced out. Say it again.
I was saying that Sharon is on medication, so she's able to kind of edge out her emotions. If she
Mm-hmm.
wasn't, she might be freaking out like Phyllis.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
So I feel like Phyllis definitely needs to go to a therapist, but at the same time, I feel like she just needs to just get over whatever she was feeling with Sharon, because she's been in the trenches with Sharon when it came to like certain things. Like, remember the JT thing with Nikki, Victoria, and
Mm-hmm.
Sharon and Phyllis?
Yeah.
Like, they went through different things together where they put their differences aside and, they're bonded by a certain issue. I feel like this is really no different.
And you would think that, I don't know, there would be some relief in wanting to get rid of all of the negative feelings and the hatred and
Yeah, if you
just
are a
just that.
peaceful person, but she's not a peaceful person. Some people enjoy living in chaos. She's one of
Yes.
them.
True. That is true.
Yeah, I mean, if you the type of person that's like, whew, now I can let this go, I can relax, but if you all you used to is being chaotic and toxic, it's hard to have peace. It's unsettling to a person like that. She don't know what to do with herself now.
Yeah, that's very sad.
It
It's very
is. I
sad
mean, but there
and almost pathetic that you don't know what to do with your life now because you can't hate this person
exactly.
that you haven't gotten along with since you've known them.
Yeah, they got what 30 years of history,
Mm-hmm.
and most of it
Yes.
got to do with Nicholas.
And he said that.
Mm-hmm.
He admitted that at the table with, I believe, Summer. Yeah, Summer, Phyllis, and him. He's like, look, most of your guys' issues have to do with me. And that's true.
Mm-hmm.
which is like they already had their kids. Now their kids have kids. It's like you guys got to eventually move on. Same thing with Brooke and Taylor. Move on. Y'all are grandmothers now.
Right. I mean, and I mean the thing is, Nick ain't even with either one of them. So
Right.
I mean,
He's just
right
happy to
now,
save the day.
right now on the bold and the beautiful side, Ridge is with Taylor right now. Nick ain't with either one of them.
And
So
hasn't been
hmm
for years.
exactly. So it's like, why are y'all mad? And now I do understand her setting up Daniel pissed off Phyllis. I get that.
Yeah.
That makes sense. But everything prior to that is like, why? But she hates everybody. The whole thing with Diane, Cricket, who do she like except Billy?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good question.
She is every person in town. She can't stand Victor. She don't like Nikki. She don't like Sharon. She don't like Diane. She don't like Christine. She talks to Lauren. That's
Yeah,
probably the only other person.
and Michael
She don't even. She
sometimes.
not even that cool with Ashley.
Yeah. And I was definitely not Victoria because Victoria didn't even acknowledge Phyllis. She said, like, how is Sharon doing? So she's not on good terms at all with Victoria. That's a good trivia question. Who does Phyllis like?
I mean, is she could. I don't. I've never really seen her in an orbit with Chelsea
Ever. Actually, that's a
ever.
great point.
And then Sally, well, they have their issue. Sally don't like her
Yeah.
right now.
Phyllis's only friend, I mean,
Right.
outside of Michael and Lauren, was Amanda / Hillary.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
Gina
that's
just
right.
said that.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes, and then V Carter said Billy and Danny.
Yeah.
I don't even know if we can count
She was
Danny
cool
because I
with
feel like,
Adam for a minute.
But
yeah, but I
she
feel
had,
like that friendship is situational.
Oh, okay.
right. Yeah,
I
they
don't
were
feel
trying to
like they
get
were
something.
ever, yeah, they never really felt like friends to me. They felt like, it felt like more of a, we're friends when we need something from each other.
Right.
Mutual acquaintances.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
Danny is, I feel like Danny is just nice to her because of Daniel. But even like back when he was on regularly, it
Mm-hmm.
was almost as if he, I don't know if he feeling sorry for her is what I'm looking for, but it was like, it was almost like he had pity for her, so he was nice to her.
Mm-hmm.
Even they didn't really feel like friends to me because she was constantly throwing herself at him and making a fool out of herself because she wanted to keep him away from cricket.
Mm.
Yeah. Wow.
Jasmine Williams makes an interesting point. She said Phyllis is just like Steffy, no friends. Her nemesis is Sharon, just like Steffy hates Hope, and both stem over man hate. Well,
Mm. Well.
she ain't telling a lie.
Yeah. I mean, she really doesn't have any connections. So, and I with Billy, she saw this as an opportunity because we got to get dive into that now. Is trying to go to work. And now her finding out that Billy is hanging out with Aristotle Dumas to take down Chancellor. Yeah, she is not happy about that. And I don't think Jack is going to be happy about that when he find that out too.
I wonder just who it
I
is.
think it's that guy that they're bringing over. Did y'all see here about the guy with the everybody talking about his
Yeah.
eyes? I think he's probably going to be that guy. I could be wrong.
Wait, what guy? What guy is this?
He's
The one who just got signed over to YNR, I think like last week. He was from, I think, Days or General Hospital or something.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm wondering
I
if
thought
it's.
some people were.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, Keish.
I saw some people speculating, thinking that maybe he was going to be the new Noah.
Noah, really?
That's what I've seen people post about. But I
Hmm.
mean, of course, I have no idea if that's true.
But
Yeah.
you know what? That's actually a good point. I actually think that might be true because Aristotle Dumont, Victor said he's known about him for decades.
Right. So
So
I find
unless
it
he plays
interesting that
older,
this Aristotle guy is tied into three different characters. So he's tied to Damien, he's tied to Billy, and also Victor knows him. So they're definitely ingratiating him into multiple storylines.
and you know who fits it?
Oh,
Fits all of that?
Tucker.
Tucker. And actually, even Kane.
I'm all for Tucker coming back.
Yeah,
Me
but I
too.
mean, what I guess I could say that. I mean, but Aristotle has been back and forth with Victor for a long time. Tucker was a separate entity to that, so they're making it look like it's a separate individual. You
But
mm-hmm.
you know that certain billionaires can go by different aliases. Like Tucker could have using like a part of his fortune, but set up like a whole other entity with his billions for something else. And he's the only connection I would think to have as far as with the Winters, with Victor, because I know he will have an axe to grind. And also the fact that Holden and Audra were associated with Tucker. And that means so was Damien.
Well, it would be nice if that is him. I mean, I would love for it to be, the same Trevor St. John who we had before. you
I
know.
know.
So I guess we'll have
Uh,
to wait and see. But whoever it is, they're tied into three different storylines. So,
yeah. And you know what? Who we have to blame for this is Lily.
girl, I
Mm-hmm.
I, I have not seen Monday's episode yet, but the way
No,
you're
I'm just
describing it, I'm not going to be happy about it because I was excited about when I remember when Damien first ran into Lily over at Society. I thought that scene was really cute, and I'm like, okay. Now, her being all up in this man's business, I'm like, you know what? If I was Damien, I'd be like, she too messy for me. Go ahead. What was Bree? You was about to say something? Uh oh. Did we lose Bree?
no, I'm right here.
Oh, okay. I couldn't hear anything. I didn't know if you were talking or not.
I'm sorry. But I was lost my thought. You was talking about Lily, right?
Mm-hmm.
She, especially on Friday's episode, you're still meeting with Victor? Really? After Nate told you to stop looking into it, stop getting this man involved, you still entertaining this man? And then you're gonna run on Monday's episode talking about like, what do you have to do with Aristotle? Dumont? Girl, this is taking a whole fantasy away from us. We were rooting for you to get a man.
Girl.
Like, and he's not playing any games. He was intentional. He said that that's who he wants. He's trying to pursue her. She's never really had that with any of the men that she's been with on the show. Some of the men that she's been with are struggle buses.
Well,
But
I mean, and that's the crazy thing about all of this is that Lily did not have to. She didn't even have to. Why would you talk to the man that screwed you over? Knowing that he was going to be like, I wonder why she's asking about this guy. Let me look into it too. Now you got uprooting all this stuff, but here's the thing. I think Michael was saying that Damien is not even on his radar. He just works for the guy or whatever. So Lily is trying to unearth all these things. Well, wait a minute. Back that up because Victor's. Do y'all believe Victor is telling the truth about the fact that Damien was looking into the Winters family 3 months before he got there?
no,
I don't think so either because I don't remember Michael and his intel. That never was said.
Aristotle Dumont didn't even cross Victor's mind until Lily brought it to his attention.
Mm-hmm.
So if he's saying, let's just say he's telling the truth, which is rare,
Mm-hmm.
that means that Amy could be a suspect. That means that possibly this whole cancer thing could have been made up because it started with her reaching out to Nate.
Mm-hmm.
And then she wanted Nate to find out about Damien. And then we get the whole can of worms that came out with all of that. And then we find out that Audra is also involved with, or previously involved with Holden. Holden and Damien are associated with Tucker. Tucker is associated with the Winters. Like all of this, it's like it seems like a whole little domino effect. So that I can see him creating like different questions for Lily and Devon to throw him off of his scent. But could he be lying? I think so, because I'm like, then he would have known about the Amy situation. He would have knew a lot about everything coming to the table. He would have assumed Lily was going to come to him to try to search for information about Damien. You know, it's
Yeah,
like, are you
I
predicting
don't
the
know.
future?
Either this is some convoluted writing or something. The only way I can think of if anybody was researching the Winters prior to, if Victor is telling the truth, which I don't think he is. I think he did that to trigger Lily, knowing that Lily was going to get mad and confront him to try to maybe uproot Aristotle somehow. Yeah, because I think that's highly manipulative. But if Victor was correct, the only person that would have been digging prior to the 3 months would have been Amy. Because she needed to
Right.
track Nate down to figure out how to get in touch with him. She had the PI involved. So if anybody was looking into anything prior to, it would have been Amy.
Right. And the fact that her story to begin with was already sketchy. She didn't want to reach out to her son in almost 20 something years. And then all of a sudden, now she's able to have like a piece of his hair after 20 something years, his birth certificate, and say, like, oh, this is your brother. Go find him for me.
Yeah.
And then we get hold. Like, I don't know. It just something just doesn't sit right.
Yeah, there you go, Jenna. Jenna says that with what was said about the 3 months, that Victor is using Lily to find out what Dumont wants. He's using her because there's no way, the way that this whole show has been going, based on the writing,
Mm-hmm.
Damien has no clue. He had no clue.
Right.
None. He didn't even want to come out and show who he was. He was like, look, Holden, go over there and test the waters and see what these people really want.
And
He
he's
would.
had one-on-one convos with Amy, and it's like their conversations has lined up with the fact that they haven't been speaking in however many years, and her wanting him to forgive her. So unless Amy is working with someone other than Damien.
Yeah. I think Victor's lying. And I agree with what, that's why I put that question out there. Do you think it's the truth? Because number one, Michael did some digging and none of that was said. And then you just gonna tell Lily, oh yeah, he's been checking out your family 3 months before he got here. I don't know. Unless maybe, because you only watched a part of Monday's episode, right, Bree?
Right.
Unless
And it
unless something else comes out that maybe he did, I think Victor's lying.
and also he said he's been looking into your family. He never really mentioned Nate, that he knows that that's his brother.
Right. Mm-hmm.
He left it very vague. They're like, oh, he was looking into your family. He was giving that girl a bone. He was saying whatever. He knew that she was looking into it for that specific reason.
Yeah. So you
So
think?
now
Mm-hmm.
it just throws everything off of his scent, because now she's going to question all the events leading up to it, including Amy, probably.
And that's what she get. That's what you get for the same person that flipped the script on you and screwed you out of a whole company is the same one that's manipulating you right now.
Again, and she went to
Again.
him. She just a glutton for punishment. She went to him instead of her brother. You must really like Victor more than your brother.
Girl, just
She is struggle bus herself. That's why she get with the struggle buses, Billy and Daniel, all of them.
mm-hmm. So all what's gonna end up happening, just like what you probably saw on Monday, Bree. She goes over there. Victor predicted it. I know she gonna go over there and try to find out what, She's gonna be the one to confront him. I'm not gonna be the one to confront him. He triggered her.
Yeah, and Jenna, I agree with you. She said DeMoss wants Billy to help him get Chancellor, but like,
Mm-hmm.
what is the motivation behind that?
Well, did you hear what Billy said? Billy said that he don't even want to run Chancellor. Now Sally don't believe that, but he said he don't want to run. He getting it for him, and I'm like, you do realize what that's gonna look like to your brother and to everybody else. You're gonna look like this because he was like, I'm turning my life around, and this is different, and obviously he finally told Sally because I'm like, if you gonna tell Phyllis everything, you better tell your girlfriend everything too. But he got real defensive with Sally.
Yeah. And it makes me wonder how he really spent Jack's money. What
Mm.
if that the whole media company is just a shell for, and maybe he's paying off to get Chancellor? Because it's one thing to say you don't want to run it, but owning it is a whole other thing.
I mean, how is he gonna make that look if Dumas don't want to run it, but he's gonna be the face to go after it? I don't. What you gonna? Wait a minute. He says it's a business decision because he said Abbott Communications is still a startup. So what you gonna merge Abbott Communications into Chancellor?
I think Jack gave him money to try to buy Chancellor somehow, or get some shares or something. That money went to that company for him to get Chancellor.
Yeah, well, in the meantime, Glissade got three moles in it. So, I mean, everybody is sneaking and creeping around everybody.
I'm like, my gosh. And it's like, goodness gracious, this is just like, Victor just wants to collect up all the companies
Girl,
and
he playing Monopoly on the Monopoly
something new and
board.
start up something fresh. And then he still has a gripe about
Mm-hmm.
Chance. I'm like,
Mm-hmm. We gotta talk about
well,
Tracy.
oh,
Oh,
my Tracy. Uh,
yeah.
oh, it broke my heart when she
Now,
was like, oh.
do y'all
It is.
think
I'm
it's
sorry.
actually Martin or is it Alan who has a dark side to him too?
I think it's gonna be Alan with the dark side.
Me too. I don't know why, but I really think that both them boys, maybe Alan subdued his a little bit better. Because they were twins, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Brie.
Oh, I was gonna say, I think it's Martin. I especially the way that he came into Genoa City with Tracy. He was surprised by everything around him, and even though he was living at the GCAC, he's been over to the Abbott house. Alan knew all those things. Martin didn't. Martin was acting very surprised. That's why I feel it is him.
Yeah, we talked about that in the past because he was like, oh, wow, this is a great place. And I'm like, haven't you been there before when you came to
Exactly.
talk to Ashley?
Exactly.
So, I mean, it's possible because, I mean, the whole thing was the collared shirt versus the v neck when a year ago, actually, pretty much to the date because it happened in the spring of 24, where we saw, you know, the different shirts and stuff like that. Like, nah, that's Alan, that's Alan. Well, he definitely put on a front if it's Martin. But like V
And
Carter says, it would be a good plot twist if both of the twins were wicked.
Yeah, I agree. I think because we're all expecting it to be Martin, I think it would add more to it if it's actually Alan. Wait,
Mm-hmm.
which one's the good twin? Alan?
Alan. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
yeah, but I remember there was like scenes when, or flashback scenes with Alan and Martin wanted to try to prove that he was a better psychologist than his brother, and the methods that he used were unorthodox, but he felt that they worked. The stuff that he did with Phyllis and Sharon, I feel that falls into what Martin's intentions was when he was talking with Alan last year.
Well, here's my question about this is that whether it's Martin or Allen, he had to do some serious homework about the intricate details about what happened on certain days and times in
Yeah.
Phyllis and Sharon's past, which is how he came up with them riddles. How you know all of that?
Yeah. Now, remember when they went into GCAC, where she, as a couple, I guess,
Mm.
Tracy was like pointing out all the different people in Genoa City. She could have just ran her mouth and told him some of the stuff, but he took little bits and went on the internet and looked. Um, but the information he got, it was like almost like he had to have been there
Right, because
before.
it was like a specific date. Because it was one of those riddles where that song was playing at one of the events that they was at. Who would have remembered that unless you were there?
Yeah.
Right. And I'm
So,
wondering if we'll
mhm.
get flashbacks of that. I wouldn't put it past the writers to say that he was there, because wasn't Ashley there at that gala?
How long? But it was like 13 years ago or something, wasn't it?
Right.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. It wasn't like in the past year or so. So
No,
I
and
don't
that,
know if,
Ashley,
huh?
oh,
Go ahead.
haven't Ashley and Alan been friends for
right.
decades? So maybe it
Yes.
was just they could write it as one of those things where even though we didn't see Alan on screen
Mm-hmm.
and know who he was, he's a friend of Ashley's from years ago, and
Mm-hmm.
he was there. We just didn't acknowledge him being there
I
because
mean,
we know.
anything is part. They're gonna have to give us a backstory on why Alan slash Martin was so invested in how he got all the details, and the end goal was to for them to bury the hatchet with each other and become friends.
Yeah, that part of it was a little strange to me.
It was either become friends or die, and it's like because if they didn't become friends and didn't save each other, they wouldn't be here. They were drinking poison and whatever Sharon had, she was out cold. So
Mhm.
it was either be friends, figure your relationship out, or you ain't gonna make it out of here. I don't know. That
What
whole thing is weird.
That
what would
sounds
have
like Martin.
what would have made maybe a little more sense is if it was Phyllis and Diane, since he's involved in Diane's life in some way because he's dating Tracy.
Hmm.
I mean, other than Alan doing or was it Martin?
Hmm.
I can't remember if it was before or after their accident, but other than the hypnosis that he did on Sharon, he had no other interaction with her.
Right.
And
So,
I think, and
uh,
considering Sharon had just been kidnapped, I think that they should have done Diane and Phyllis instead.
well, I mean,
I agree with that, Kish. 100%.
yeah, I don't. I just think they went wonky with the. And see, remember, we heard back in January that there was supposed to be a scene with Phyllis and Sharon locked in the sewer together. Remember
Mm.
that? But then
Mm-hmm.
Sharon got out, and then all of a sudden we get this whole crazy storyline with them being locked at the clinic together. So I
Yeah.
don't know what they were doing, what Josh Griffith and his shenanigans is doing with this thing, but poor Tracy. So finally, look like they're gonna lure him back to town because all
Mm.
the red flags are popping up, and the conversation that she had with Sharon about the text messages and the triggers and things like that, she was like, "Oh, that's way too coincidental."
Yeah, I felt so bad, but I was glad that she wisened up. She was talking with Chan. She let him know. Good for her. but not for her heart. I was really rooting that she was happy. We were happy she got a man. He was taking him upstairs to GCAC to like look at the view from my room. Like we were rooting for this girl.
But you gotta feel some kind of way. I mean, this is, you thought it was one person, but it's somebody else, and it's the sociopathic brother, if it's Martin, that you've been sleeping with.
Mm. Yeah. So it means it was great.
You know what? I mean, the same thing when the whole Anicelli doppelganger came along that looked like Jack, and Phyllis was like, "Oh my God, this man is amazing," realizing that it was not Jack.
Yeah.
I hated that storyline.
Yeah, no, it's just, to me, it's just a weird non-consent type of thing. And I know I don't want to get into that whole thing, but it's like you sleeping with somebody that is not who you think he is.
Yep. Mm-hmm. That's what I hated about it.
Right. I gave my body to a man that is actually his brother, who was sociopathic. So, I mean, sometimes I just think too deep on things, but that there with Tracy, I'm like, ooh, yeah.
Poor girl. We hoped that she was going to have a man. I don't know. I was hoping that they would bring Ashley back.
She's coming back. From what I understand, she's coming back. She's back filming a few weeks ago. So she's probably going to be part of the storyline that, I'm wondering how long they're going to drag it out, because May Sweeps is coming up in about 3.5 weeks. So.
You know what I think? I don't think that confession is going to come out until May Sweeps. I think she's going to go along with the wedding process and everything, and that probably will get revealed on the wedding day.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll see if that all comes out, but that sucks for her because she was so happy.
Yeah. They just need to leave Tracy alone after this.
I mean, seriously.
Leave that woman alone.
Mm-hmm. Leave her alone. And then before we move on, because I know we got to talk bold business, do you think Phyllis and Billy is going to end up together? Because it seemed like they're trying to tease this situation, and Sally is like looking sour faced because of, Billy going to bat for her. What do you think about it?
I hope so.
Mm-hmm. I feel like it's going to be it'll be another situation like it was when he was with Lily, where he didn't cheat on Lily, but he was providing so much support and comfort to Chelsea that it caused them to go their separate ways, because it was, I mean, clearly he was doing too much while he was in a relationship with her. And I think is what is going to end up happening with the two of them. I don't think he's going to cheat on Sally, but I think Sally is going to get sick of him running to her rescue to support her every time she has a breakdown. And I think that's what's going to end up coming between them. They're just going to break up before anything happens with him and Phyllis.
I was hoping that those two work together. I was looking forward to them working together at Chancellor until that all imploded. And then now when they, decide to start their own company, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So that we are going to do this, only for him to be trying to take Chancellor. I don't know if Phyllis is going to stick out with this thing. I mean, stick through this whole thing with Billy. Y'all think so or no?
Well, what else is she doing? Yeah. So I think whatever's going to provide her a check, I think she's going to do it. I think the moral part of her, or the part that's starting to kind of surface, is thinking of her kids and the fact that she had asked Daniel to join her in all of this, and he was already fearful that Billy had a different agenda. So it's almost like she feels like she's upset her son. But I still feel she's going to stick around because I think she wants Billy. It's obvious. It's just a matter of, is Billy's actually going to get away with this? Mm-hmm. And she's going to be part of the fallout.
Right. Well, we shall see, I guess. I'm trying to think, did we miss anything or did we cover everything for this week?
Pretty much covered everything. I thought the conversation between Daniel and Sharon was nice.
Yeah, that was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I agree. You know, they kind of buried the hatchet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I agree. Oh, Gail said we didn't mention Kyle and Claire.
All
Oh,
them playing hooky from work.
Yeah.
but he asked her to move in, I think.
Yeah,
Right?
he did.
Yeah. Ooh,
Pretty
Summer is
much.
about to blow her top.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm okay with
Yeah.
that.
Look. At least at least Danny's honest about her feelings. I just wish Summer would just be honest about her feelings and just go after what she wants and just call it a day.
She needs to
There's
go
nothing to
after
go after though.
Chance. Right.
That's the thing. There's nothing to go after. Kyle has told her at least a handful of times how much he cares for Claire, how important she is to him. He has given that girl zero indication that he wants to reunite with her. There's nothing for her to go after.
Right.
He
stood in her face and called Claire the best woman that he's ever known. Like, if that's not enough hint that he doesn't want you, then I don't know what else to tell Summer.
This is the same woman who witnessed this man move on with Lola, and we saw how that ended. I'm just saying, don't count Summer out. Eventually, she gonna wiggle her way in there, same way she did when it came to Lola, except she was using blackmail. So whatever tricks she's about to pull to try to get this man, when she hears that he's trying to move Claire in, she's gonna use him.
But he's got to want her back, is what I'm saying, and he.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right now he doesn't. So Summer can throw herself at him all she wants to. She's gonna make a fool out of herself because Kyle isn't interested.
Right. Unlike Will Spencer, who was biting his lip.
Oh, I can't wait to get into that.
Like it's embarrassing to watch her. I don't know, do all these little, like, the whole, I don't want to say she was playing a victim or anything like that, but trying to get sympathy from him when Phyllis was missing and forcing it was pretty much forcing hugs and interactions with him to make Claire jealous or to make herself feel better. And the expressions on Kyle's face when every time he had to hug her or when he hugged her, it was almost as if it was painful for him. Like, I don't know. I don't understand. I hate that they're doing this.
So is it good to say that she and Chance are pretty much done?
I think Summer thinks she's pretty much done.
Yeah, obviously.
Because we don't even see any scenes with them except for whenever he's got to be in a police investigation, and that's usually it.
Waste, though. I mean, gosh.
There was literally no reason for them to do this.
Right.
I don't understand it.
Exactly. It don't even make no sense. I mean, and now you gonna go try to go and chase after somebody who don't even want you.
Whereas, yeah, they pull her out of a valid relationship to put her in a one-sided triangle. Like, right. she is the only one in this triangle because Claire and Kyle are paying her no attention.
Yeah.
I know, Jenna. She said Diane is in this. Diane is going after Summer. Yeah, and all that's gonna do is put a target on Diane's back because we know how Summer's mother is going to get.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So
why is Diane going after Summer?
She knows that Summer wants to get back with Kyle. Diane wants to keep Claire and Kyle together because there's no issues, there's no contention. She likes Claire or Kyle over Summer.
Mm-hmm.
So she's going to try to keep those two together, and Phyllis is going to go toe-to-toe with anyone who's against her child. We've seen all. So, Yeah.
Yeah.
Such
Yeah.
a.
And plus she's recruiting Victor to get help as well to split them two up too. So
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I almost forgot about that. Yeah, and
mm,
he definitely doesn't want Claire and Kyle together. And 9 times out of 10, he gets what he wants.
yeah, I agree. All right.
Mhm.
How many people we got in the chat, girly?
Oh my goodness, we got 133 in the chat, but we got 52 likes, y'all.
Yeah, get the likes up, you guys. Let's go. Let's go. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. We do these recaps, weekly recaps every week on this channel. Look at that, sound kind of redundant. Weekly recaps every week on this channel. And we're also on other platforms: Instagram, TikTok, X, Threads, Facebook group, and there is a blog on Medium, and the spoilers are up. And I think I posted the spoiler video for Bold and the Beautiful already for the week of March 31st through April 4th. So that if you haven't seen that video is up with those spoilers. All right, let's go ahead and jump into Bold. We had a crazy beginning of the week when it comes to this whole situation of it started out with a little bit of Luna and Sheila finding out that that's her granddaughter. But the rest of the first part of this week is this whole thing with Carter giving the company back, and Hope is hotter than fish grease. She was ready to slap her mama, and Brooke was ready to throw her out on the street. And Steffi and Taylor was doing a happy dance, and Brooke, after all of that, was still trying to get a piece of pinecone poppy. So, yeah, where y'all want to go with that part first? And then Daphne wanted, to stick her toe in the dip of the chocolate. So,
Mm-hmm. I guess we might let's go to the top of the week because a lot of things led to a lot of things.
right.
So what happened? We went to the office where Carter had to make his decision.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I prefer my paychecks.
Right. I mean,
Oh man.
I don't understand that she actually thought that he was just going to walk. This man is now back at the COO position. And he had two positions, actually.
Yeah, and the attorney.
And
even after all that.
After all that, even though a lot of people, and I think one of the, either both of you or one of you was like, I don't know if I would have gave him his job back.
I think we both said that.
Carter 1000% should have been fired.
Yep.
He should have been the first one fired.
Yeah, because
I was so upset.
Yeah, he was the one that went up in there and signed his name on some documents, whether Hope was pushing him or not. You took an active part in this by being the front runner.
His idea.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And then he deceived me to my face and having me blindly, even though they should have read it. But just the fact that he went to them and had them sign and then had the nerve to say that he can run the company better than they can. Oh, no, you have to go.
Well, and the thing is, he had an opportunity because Ridge did see that. Remember, Ridge was like, "Why is your signature here?" That was his. They could have just blindly signed it, you know. But he said, "Hey, Carter, why is your signature here?" And he turned around and lied. "Oh, I don't mean nothing. It's good. It's good. It's good." And okay. And they went ahead and signed it because they thought they could trust him.
Which they should have been able to because he was their lawyer. Like that was his job, to look over contracts and let them know everything is good to go.
Like, if they wanted to give him a job, then they should have at least allowed him to prove himself. I would not give him a high executive job and also be my legal counselor. No, right. You can go be the janitor. You can go you can do the lawn.
You
You
so
know,
silly.
no, seriously, he gonna have to prove himself. I'm not gonna give you a high level salary position after you took the company away from me and had the nerve to say you can run the company better than I can.
I think they tried to ride on the premise that the only reason that he did this is because he was manipulated by Hope. I believe that probably maybe they would have fired him if Hope was nowhere in the picture because it'll be him. They so stuck on Hope being the
Mm-hmm.
driving force. They're saying you didn't do this on your own. This was all her pushing you to do it. So we'll forgive you for that because you wasn't in your right mind. Pretty much, that's what they're trying to do.
Which is stupid because he literally brought the idea to Hope.
That is true.
He
Well,
he
that's
brought
what
the
we
idea to
know
Hope.
as the fans. Yes. Yep. Go ahead.
I still, they both went along with it. They both should have been fired, in my opinion. I
Mm-hmm.
can't trust them.
Right. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, Hope should have been fired regardless because her line was failing anyway.
She
She
was
went a whole
fired.
year without profit.
Well, she didn't bring any profit. They were sending it back.
Well, here's my thing with Hope Logan because she went on a whole rant about how every man in her life disappointed her, and I'm like, you kidding, right? Now I can say Liam, okay, because but they stayed there. They chose to stay in that whole back and forth, just like I say with Brooke and Taylor. Y'all choosing that.
Oh, yeah.
But Thomas, that man wanted you for a decade, and he gave her multiple opportunities to marry him. And the thing is, you would have had access and had the Forrester name if you had a chose Thomas. He's uh, what a shareholder. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
saying that technically she should have used Thomas, but you expected Carter to go into a whole coup when you could have been married into the family.
And Thomas wanted more babies.
Correct.
And she was considering that idea too at one point when she was talking with Liam, when he asked her the question about birth control or something.
Right.
But she chose not to do that. As much as she keeps like griping about that family, she has 3 siblings who are part of that family.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's almost a slap in the face to them for what you're doing to their father and their grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
She just wants to be a Forrester ever so badly, kind of like her mama all them years ago.
She had the keys to the kingdom with him. I could see him going up against his family for her, and he wouldn't be caught in his conscience because Thomas had the dark side to him. He would have moved
Mm-hmm.
mountains for Hope as his
Mm-hmm.
wife. As her being his wife. Yep.
And that would have made more sense than Carter.
Right.
Yeah.
Because at least he is the next in line as a Forester. He's put time in, plus he's a designer. Carter and Hope were running a company with no fashions.
Right.
It was jewelry and it was perfume.
No fashions.
Yeah, because if you had a company that's been running for 40 years almost, and the majority of it was its couture and its fashion week fashion line and all this kind of stuff, and nobody's designing couture, nobody was
Mm-hmm.
even designing the bedroom line. It was just fragrances and the jewelry.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Right, V Card. Thomas made her profits with her
Yep.
designs, and as soon as he left, everything went down, and it never went back up. And I hate that because I feel like I'm throwing shade at Zende, but Zende has been with her designs for a long time, and it seems like either his designs are just not aligning with her vision,
Mm-hmm.
or they're just terrible. But she made no money all of last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. After that first quarter, when Thomas left, that was she had everything. She had the man, the designers, the money. She had a kid. She could have got another kid, and she had good sex, and she threw it
Oh
all
yeah,
out the way.
I
yeah.
guess if anything, doesn't that kind of prove that she wasn't just using Thomas? Because if she was, then she would have accepted his proposal just so she could be a forester and have more access to the company, knowing that Thomas would do anything for her.
She was using him for affirmation.
Right.
Because like there's different levels to which she can use somebody. She used Carter for a different reason, but she
Power.
used Thomas. Oh, did I say Carter or Kyle?
You said Carter.
Carter.
Oh, okay. She was using Thomas shortly after her marriage with Liam, because Liam is always like picked and choose between Steffy and her, and Thomas was giving her the affirmation that was only her, and she was drinking it up. And that was like her driving force to continue to stay with him, because she knew she was at least getting that, and she was getting great sex and all that other stuff. But she wasn't ready to be considered somebody's wife. And then now that he's gone and he's considering to get married himself, then you have this opportunity now with Carter, since Finn didn't want anything to do with her.
Mm-hmm.
Now her driving force was mainly to get back at Steffy, but just to get back at the Foresters, even though she so badly wants to be one, as much as she was talking about how her contribution should be recognized, her mother's contribution should be recognized. I'm like, when haven't they?
Yeah, so remember she had jumped into this whole thing about the fact that she loved him, and she could barely tell Thomas until the 11th hour that she loved this man. And I don't think she didn't love Carter. She loved the access to the power that Carter could get. She wanted power. That's all this is. It was an aphrodisiac to her. It was like, shoot, if you can get me to the top and we can stick it to the Foresters, I'll love you all day. But when it's gone, you're out.
Yeah, she put him in past tense real quick.
Yeah, she did.
I loved you. I'm like, oh.
And he quickly caught it too.
And then, girl, see, and he's going to get the Simple Olympics award from me, because he spent 2 days this week begging this woman. And I'm like, dude, walk out with your dignity. Please. I love you. Please, I can get your job back. She like, yeah, right.
She called him a traitor.
Right.
I will say this, not that I'm on Hope's side in this, because she's been wrong for the last 12 months of shenanigans that she's been pulling. I can understand why she was frustrated with Carter, considering this whole thing was his idea. She merely supported and advocated for the takeover. But he brought the idea to her. He executed everything. And then when he decided to give the company back, which he clearly struggled with throughout this whole thing. But when he decided to give the company back, instead of walking out with her in solidarity when she got fired, he retained his job. And so I can understand her point of view of feeling like, you put all of this in motion, I supported you, and then when it came down to it, when I got fired, you didn't walk out with me in solidarity. You just let me basically take the fall for everything while you were able to get your job back and get back in the good graces of the Foresters. So I'm not saying that she deserved any forgiveness from them, or that I don't know, or that she deserved any loyalty from him, but I can understand why she felt like he kind of just left her out there in the cold. Like, you brought this whole situation to me, and then now I'm thrown under the bus for it, and you're all good now. You're all good with the Foresters.
And she's a fool for that. Oh, I'm sorry, T.
Yeah, the thing is, though, is that all during this time, this man has been struggling. And every time he was like, I don't know if I want to do this. She was like, no, 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 no. So, I mean.
And that's why I don't feel sorry for him.
Exactly. Because it's like, she's been the driving force behind it. So he was on the front end of this. She was on the back end of it, pushing. Because there was times where he was like, I don't think this is the right thing to do. My conscience is eating away at me. I can't live with myself. And she was like, you're going to be just fine. Keep going.
Yeah.
And not to mention, the whole driving force of this was because she got fired and she was crying on this man's shoulder. And he put his cape on to save the day. So this man made a choice to stand in solidarity with her by risking his job and also probably risk going to jail too and getting a lawsuit set on him. So for her to say that he was a traitor and that she risked her credibility, I was like, oh, girl.
Yeah, she was definitely far off base with that one. Cause she risked nothing because she literally had nothing before he decided to do the takeover. She
was already fired,
job.
Right?
Yeah, she was already fired. Her line was already cut. And that was the whole reason why Carter did what he did.
Yes.
So I didn't understand. I didn't understand that argument from her that she risked. Like, what did you risk? Your name wasn't on those LLC papers.
But she had no problem pushing his hand to the paper, to the pen, everything. She was perfectly fine with allowing this man to sign. And this is the same girl who said that I would never want to work for the Foresters. I'm glad I don't have to work for them anymore.
Yeah, I mean, she already was public enemy number one for Steffy. The only thing that changed with the takeover as far as her reputation or risking anything was Eric's support.
She didn't give two craps about Eric. She always talking about how Steffi this, and I'm like, you do realize that's Eric's company. He's the founder. You don't think about him at all?
And they kept on asking her, like, what did Eric do to you?
Right.
You never answered about Rich and Steffi. What did Eric do to you?
Yeah, and she never answered that question anytime somebody brought up Eric.
She can't. What has Eric done to her? Nothing. There's no answer she could come up with. She would be disingenuous to make up anything otherwise.
Yeah. Right. And even up until the takeover, Ridge was even trying to find a way to get her back in the company.
Yep.
Remember how he went to the house and was questioning Finn about what happened in the design room.
Thank you for bringing that up. I was about to say something. She got herself fired because she got herself caught up trying to wear lingerie for Carter when all she could have been honest and said, hey, this was for him. We're seeing each other. We're dating each other.
Well, let's talk about that part too, because in this whole, and shout out to Heather Tom who did that all woman episode. I think she did a great job directing it, and Annika brought the heat, and so did KKL in that scene. But Hope was always talking about how her mom never supported her, and I'm like, she kept all kind of secrets for you over this past year.
Yes, that was probably even more outrageous than Hope telling Carter that she risked everything for him. This is the first time that I can remember Brooke ever holding Hope accountable and calling Hope out.
Yep.
Literally through this last year, like you said, T, Brooke has been holding her secrets and making excuses for her, defending her. She was defending her with the stuff with Finn.
Yep.
She was even advocating for them to still be friends after what she did. Still talking about how it was unfair that Steffi was telling her that she couldn't be friends with her husband that she tried to kiss. Like, she was beside herself about it.
And I mean, go ahead, Keisha.
It was just, I just couldn't believe that she said that to her mother.
Yeah.
She has been her number one advocate her entire life. She has made excuses for everything that Hope has done. And the one time she calls Hope out and tells Hope that she needs to take accountability, it's turned into, you never support me.
Right.
And I'm like, all that stuff with Liam, your mother has been your cheerleader. Sometimes she was the main one going toe to toe with Steffi. And then Hope would come in and just collect all of the success her mother's made when it came to Liam. Everything that has happened as far as her getting a job at the company for years without experience, like just these different things. And just the lack of appreciation. That's what I heard in her voice. Like, she's entitled.
Well,
to
that's
all
what
of it.
happened when you coddle somebody for so long and never allow them to feel the wrath of their own consequences. When you're always having a safety net, you expect that all the time. And the one time that, like her mom said, you know what, this is on you, she lost it.
Yeah. And it's not like Brooke lied to her and said that what they were doing was okay. From the very beginning, Brooke told her, this is wrong. You guys need to give the company back. You shouldn't be doing this. What about Eric? Like, this isn't your company to take. This is wrong. I don't know how many times she said that to Hope. And for Hope to act surprised that her mom took the CEO position because her ultimate goal was to get the company back in the Foresters' hands, and acting surprised and then calling her a traitor, it's like, your mom told you that this was wrong. She told you she didn't agree with what you were doing.
Mm-hmm. But
A
she figured,
traitor.
but that's the thing. She thought that she had Carter so p-whipped that he was wrapped around her finger, and she always knew her mom over the last number of years, decades, was
Her
always gonna
entire
have her
life.
back. Right, her entire life had her back, and that they were gonna be there. But both, and there's a spoiler for next week that she actually lashes out still about the fact that Carter and her mom did not support her.
Well, look, she's unemployed. What else is she doing?
The fact that she is arguing this hard against Carter doing the right thing, but he maliciously took that company. It was deceptive what he did, and she's arguing and throwing a fit about the fact that he gave the company back to its owners, the control of the company
Right.
back to its owners. Like, she really thinks that this was a betrayal.
Yeah,
I, that is like peak entitlement.
it sure is. It's narcissistic to me, but you know.
And she said, like, why couldn't you guys side with me for once?
Yeah, for
Girl.
once. And I'm thinking, like, are you serious? I mean, even with Steffi and Ridge over the course, like you said, they gave her opportunity after opportunity last year to get that line in order.
Mm-hmm.
They gave her a whole year to get it together. And she was busy running around having kindred spirit massage moments with Finn and kissing other people's husbands, and then had the nerve to get mad at Daphne, who she's not married to Carter. Not saying that, you're supposed to mess with somebody else's significant other, but you did the exact same thing last year, ma'am.
Except you failed at it because he rejected you.
Exactly.
She failed a couple of times. She failed with the lingerie, and she had it locked up in the room. Like, all these different attempts, like even kissing him at Eric's GCA seat. Nothing came of it. Like, she just keeps making a fool of herself.
Yeah.
And at least Daphne owned what she did. She was like, "And Hope, what about what you're doing? This is not about me." Okay. It's not about you, but it's always about you. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. She said out there, I lost everything. I mean, I couldn't believe that the way that this is obviously directed, but that Hope was gonna slap her mama.
Oh yeah. She had already, again, she had already lost. All she did, all that happened to her was she was back where she was before Carter brought that takeover idea to her. She's just right back in that spot. So it's not like she lost even more. Like,
Right.
you're just back where you started before you guys fraudulently took that company over.
Yeah.
You couldn't have possibly thought that was going to last forever.
And my thing is, if you don't like it somewhere, go start your own company.
Right.
And that's the part where I don't understand, where she says she lost everything. She had no problem walking out of the Forrester room because she has nothing to lose. She knew she's going to stay in a multi-million-dollar mansion. Well, actually, correction, on her mother's front yard. She has money in the bank. She had nothing to worry about. Carter was sacrificing literally his livelihood, and he told her, "This is my livelihood."
Right.
She's able to walk out and she's able to make a gripe saying, like, I don't want to work for the Foresters. So why are you complaining? If you got fired, then you should be relieved.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about trying to make ugly clothing anymore.
Yeah, and then the other thing is he talked about the fact that he could have been disbarred. So not only you want me to walk out, I can guarantee you, I guess this is where Ridge and maybe Eric would have reported him, which is why they brought that up in this dialogue. I could have gotten disbarred. So now I'm going back to spending all those years I spent in law school to throw it away because you want me to sit up in a tiny cabin in the woods with you every day.
Yeah.
No. Mm-mm. I need a paycheck. I got bills to pay. I got a condo to pay for. Sorry. And that car. Remember that car that Carter pulled up in when he came up there to rescue Hope last year?
Mm-hmm.
That car ain't cheap.
Nope. So if he likes those payments, he likes those paychecks. Yeah, he was right to drop her, and he should really thank his lucky stars that Ridge and Eric mainly gave him another chance.
Right. Now I do
After,
want to see what happens with Daphne and Carter though.
I kind of do too. I was hoping, maybe a little bit more with Zende, but the way that she's caping for Carter, and I don't know, like her accent is dropping, like she's like changing herself. She's not so stiff. She's stiff, but she's not as stiff as she was when she came on. Like she is warming up to this man. So, and then plus, I'm all for a woman who can take accountability for her actions.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that because she don't want him to know that plan that she had with Steph.
But I can see if that were her plan as she started out with the gate, but that was Steffi. I think he would understand that.
And really, she didn't do anything. All she did was flirt with him.
Yeah,
So
there's
it's
a
not
reason
like,
though they trying to make this look like a big secret. So I'm wondering if maybe Hope finds out and bringing out the Carter that she was working with Steffi all along. They brought that in the dialogue for a reason.
Yeah, sure.
You know,
But
so
it just, I don't know. I could see if she did something to lie to Carter, or they did an actual scheme of setting him up somehow. But all she did was speak to his conscience to get him to rethink having control of that company and giving the company back. So, like, literally all she did was talk to him about how wrong it was what he did.
I think the problem is going to come in because he might have some after effects of Hope using him.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably going to see, well, what was the real reason? Do you really like me, or this was all part of this plan? And that's probably he going to end up in his feelings about this, even though, like you say, it's not she didn't do anything, but were you really here for me, or was it just for this? So I think that's probably where they're going with this, because this got to leave some type of after effect when it comes with Hope and how she dropped him like a hot potato.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying, T, but given what he just did, to the point where they got him disbarred, he can't hold any judgment to what Daphne was trying to do. She was trying to help out her friend, and it actually reaped to his benefit because her perfume line helped, be a part of his success in this coup.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll see what Bell is going to do with all that, and I mean, it could go nowhere. They like to throw stuff in the air, and you be like, oh, okay, where they going with that? And they go nowhere. So I guess we'll have to see if that so-called thing she wants to keep a secret is going to be anything at all.
A good example of that stuff going nowhere, those two kisses between Liam and Steffy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That never came out. And it's been, what, 2 years almost?
Yep.
It will be
in the
will
summer.
Be in July.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, but I am curious to see if they can make a go of it. He seems interested. She's really saying how great of a person he is, and you did the right thing, and you're so remarkable, and da 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 da. So, yeah. We gotta talk about Ridge and Brooke, cause Ridge, well, I should say Brooke shot a shot, and now they forced Ridge to make a decision, and Brooke did not get picked.
Oh, if pitiful was a person,
Both of
I'm
them women pitiful. I can't even enjoy the
The
Trigger
Taylor
reunion.
thing, right?
It just the fact they should have waited until after this coup storyline was done before they had Taylor and Ridge hook up. He should have been by himself this whole time, and then come to the decision that maybe him and Brooks' run of being together it's run its course. The destiny thing is, over, and Taylor is who he wants to be with. Because the way that I don't know, I feel like he's with her now just because he still has some resentment towards Brooke. And she's just there to keep him, because so he won't be lonely.
Like a placeholder.
Yeah, it
Mm-hmm.
still feels like that, even though he told Brooke no. It still feels like Taylor is just a placeholder until he's over his anger for Brooke. And it would have felt much more authentic if he had been single this whole time, and then after the coup, he still decided he didn't want to be with Brooke, and him and Taylor built back up to uh um you know being together, instead of having Taylor like literally go up to his room hours after, or minutes, however long it was after Brooke made that
I
CEO
agree with
announcement.
that. Yeah, I agree with you on that, Keish, because he went home with her and gave her an ultimatum. You need to kick Hope off the property or I'm leaving.
Mm-hmm.
If he had it just say she kicked her out off the property, he would have still been there.
Mm-hmm.
well,
Mm-hmm.
actually, she should have just kicked him out because prior to him giving that ultimatum, she witnessed this man call Hope a B right in front of her.
And
And
a
then he told
nasty
her
one
to,
at that.
yeah, and then
Yep.
he told her, let's go on home. He calls the Hope, and then
Let's go.
she
Let's
follows
go,
along.
Logan.
And then
Right.
she follows along, and then he calls Hope an S, and and then gives the ultimatum.
Yep.
And I'm like, that's your house.
Mm-hmm.
Kick him out. And but this is the same woman who slapped him and then talking about we're going to be together by the end of Christmas. She is a sad, lost, love sick puppy. The one that Rich had mentioned about Carter, that's Brooke all day, and she looked pitiful again.
No, Taylor too. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
like I can't get into either one of them because
Me neither.
Taylor has to realize at some point Logan is going to come back into his life and he
Yep.
going to go right down the road with her.
With the way Ridge left her at the altar that last time,
Mhm.
this all should have been Ridge chasing Taylor. It should not have been Taylor chasing him.
Yeah, falling out on the floor with chakras and all this to get this man back.
Right. Like I just, ugh.
Yeah. He's just like, oh.
It's just so frustrating and annoying. Like women just always fall in Ridge's lap. He never has to work for it.
Mm-hmm.
I guess he begged Taylor the last time when he chased her on that mountain and then did what he did to her.
I gotta
But
say, Bill got a lot more clout and power than Ridge do, and he ain't got nobody.
right.
Katie doesn't even want him. The only person who wanted him was Poppy. But for her own
Poppy and
reason.
Luna wanted him for a hot second.
Mm-hmm. I think if given the opportunity, he could have had Lee.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, oh man, we gotta talk about this whole thing with baby Sheila and Sheila. Girl, I've been using your term.
Look, and she is making me proud. She proud to be Sheila's granddaughter. She's like, "Hi, Grandma." I'm like, "Girl."
Mm-hmm.
That's because that girl ain't got nobody else.
She ain't got nobody else.
She's so happy. and they're passing along stories. She's looking at the nine toes, and she was like, "Oh, I got a story you might appreciate." I'm like, "Oh my
Right.
gosh!"
Like, yeah, I almost killed your father and his wife, and then I cut my toe off so I could run from the law and fake my death.
Me
Oh,
too, Grandma.
oh,
Like,
oh my God.
I mean, I guess. Look, I can't even be mad. That's why she baby Sheila for a reason. She gonna learn
I
all the
am
good tips
liking
from her
this story. I
grandmother.
wonder what kind of havoc. I know the spoilers for next week is them two are going to team up to try to get Will, help her get Will, but um Deacon is not having it. Deacon is like, I'm your husband. I'm calling rank. You ain't gonna be with her. Now deal with it. And I'm like,
Ooh.
well,
Deacon having the nerve to talk about how anybody deserves to be behind bars for the heinous crimes that they've done is comical in itself.
right. When
Because you
you,
literally got
mm-hmm,
someone out of jail and then
right,
married her.
exactly.
You did the exact same thing Bill did.
I can't even take Deacon even serious. You did the exact same thing to Luna Senior.
Mm-hmm. When a senior.
I mean, come on, Deacon, really? Oh my
The
God, she just,
hypocrisy with
yeah,
Deacon and Sheila. It was Sheila last week and Deacon this week. I'm like, oh, okay.
exactly.
Like they did Sheila get baptized and she's clean of all the things that she did for 30 years? I'm confused.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So then switching back to downstairs, cause obviously I don't know what she gonna do. Whether I'm assuming she gonna probably figure out a way to have a relationship with her granddaughter, but her granddaughter is over there listening to Electra, which is kind of similar to what's going on over on Beyond the Gates with Eva and Kat, because
Mm-hmm.
Has her V card. I think Electra has her V card, and it looked like both Tomas and Will wants to get busy, but Tomas is like, you know what? I'm not gonna push the issue. I mean, Will is over there rubbing legs and ankles and whatnot.
Like,
I
you
mean, the
ready?
little boy is like, shoot, what we doing? And Electra
He
is looking like, well, I don't know. Well, somebody is willing, ready, and able, and it could be friends with benefits or benefits without the friendship when it comes to Luna. And the way the two of them looked at each other, it was so much chemistry between them two.
that boy bit his lip.
I know.
He was ready. All of a sudden, like the thought of like what Luna did, it just like swept away. He was like, "Wait, you just want to give me some? We don't even have to be friends, really? What? This can't be real." And he already said she was a pretty girl. He found her attractive. So,
Her
look,
flirtation was on point. I mean, yeah, it's that femme fatale we was talking about a month or so ago. That's it right there. You know, I'm nice, but I can be a little naughty too. You know how that's how she was saying it.
mm-hmm. And I gotta give it to Lisa Yamada. That was very convincing. The way that she just got Luna into this mode of like, I'm gonna get this man.
Girl,
It was very Amber-esque.
she tapped into her inner Poppy.
Let's hope she's successful.
I mean, we knew Poppy was a 304, but the way she was like, look, no strings attached, we can get it on. Just tell me when and where. I'm going to be right upstairs, so you can always slide to my place. I'm like, dang.
Like, I won't tell anybody. She wants to be Miss Now and Later, in between, meanwhile, everything. And I just hope that she's going to be successful, because Poppy was a 304, but she wasn't a successful one because they were still going from place to place. And she got with those rich men only to get nothing out of it.
Wow. What you think, Keish?
It'll be fun to watch Luna play her little games and scheme where Will is concerned. But I'll be interested to see where they bring Remy back into this, because I thought her and Remy also had good chemistry. Like, I could see her kind of playing around with him and doing the friends with benefits thing with him as well, while she's waiting around for Will to crack.
I
And she gonna
mean,
let
they
her.
could go that route.
I think Remy's gonna snitch on Will. I think she's gonna provide the Easter eggs for Remy to hand over to Electra.
Yeah, because if Remy is like, oh, I've been seeing Will flirt back with Luna, he'll definitely drop that just to break them two, or her to get mad at Will. Like, wait a minute. But next week, we saw that promo where Electra, this girl got rid of two people, and you gonna push her?
Yeah, so Electra might not be around by the end of next week.
She trying to sign a death wish or something. I don't know. I'm like, and then the look in Luna's eyes, like, oh yeah, you don't want to play with me.
Yeah.
I'd rather see that, though, than having Electra act like I don't know, like a little scary cat. It's more entertaining.
You stay away from my boyfriend. Push. The look on Luna's eyes was like, girl.
That was funny.
Oh my goodness. Like, Electra better never drink a bottle of water in front of Luna. Don't eat in front of Luna. Don't leave nothing around for her to lace with. Nothing. Because like anything goes with Luna. If she wants you out the picture, you be out.
Yeah. I mean, this girl figured out a way to poison people and all types of things. And then if she team up with Sheila, like according to the spoilers, them two put their diabolical heads together. Girl, Electra, I don't think you don't want none of that smoke.
Yeah.
What'd you say, Keish?
They ain't gonna do nothing.
Look, wait a minute.
Listen, it only take a glass of Kool-Aid. Steffi drunk the Kool-Aid and see where she end up.
And
but if the two of them are serious about wanting people to believe they changed, they're not really going to do anything to anybody.
Well, that's depending on whether Belle is going to bring out that villain side of these two right now.
The villain side of Luna is out, and she's making waves over at El Giardino. It's the Sheila part that's making me wonder if she's about to try to play both sides, where she's going to act like she's honoring Deacon's wishes and also trying to play grandmother. And to be honest, Sheila's no stranger with trying to get her children with a rich man. Yeah. It's going to be no different with Luna. Yeah, so I see her helping her pursue Will because of the paycheck.
Yeah, well, all I know is that there's an ultimatum on the table, and Deacon said it's either me or her. So either she gonna be sneaking and creeping, trying to stay in touch with her granddaughter or something, because Deacon ain't having it.
That's probably what she's gonna end up doing. Sneaking around, helping her.
Yep.
Get the apartment for her and all that good stuff. Yeah, that's unfortunately how we're not going to have any more Sheik on, but.
Oh man, well I don't know, he liking the wild toxic schmecks, so.
Oh, he did say that.
That was so weird. Like, that's the one thing that you bring up about your marriage.
He said, I love you. Why? Because we have great schmecks.
Right.
Yeah,
I do hope, though, that since now Ridge and Brooke are on the outs, I'm not necessarily wanting him to cheat on Sheila or anything like that. But, I mean, Deacon and Brooke are friends. In the past, she's gone to El Giardino and, like, they'll sit there and talk or whatever. So I hope that they put Brooke in more scenes with Deacon, and it sparks a little that rivalry between Sheila and Brooke again, and it gives her somebody different to focus on other than Steffi.
Gotcha. That makes
I read something earlier, and I wouldn't hate it if they did this. Somebody wanted Brooke and Liam to get together
Oh
finally.
God, they had said that. Remember a year and a half ago when
Mm-hmm.
Liam was over there crying to Brooke all the time. They was
About
hoping.
Yep.
Thomas.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they were hoping for that then.
They
I
feel the opportunity is great for them both since he hasn't been with her daughter in over a year. And now she's heartbroken about Ridge, so get with Ridge Jr. When I read that, I was like, oh, they could do that.
Well, I honestly think that they still gonna push him right over the step. Now the thing is, Jacqueline McAnnis Woods, congratulations to her, is about seven
Yay.
months pregnant with her fifth child. So obviously she probably will be taking some time off. So maybe she might leave town. I don't know if that leaves. But my thing is, and what you mentioned earlier in the group chat, Bree, is this man sitting around all this time by himself, and Ivy wasn't sniffing around him.
Right. She has been in LA. Even prior to that meeting she had with Carter and Steffi, she said she was already in LA for a couple of months. So throughout this whole time, we were hoping that she was sneaking off and getting with Liam. Nothing. So she even made the effort to try to reach out to Liam with all this stuff going on.
Mm-hmm. You would think. I mean, I wouldn't have mind seeing them two trying to figure something out, but they didn't go down that road. They teased us about that last May, and that was it. I haven't
Yeah.
Yeah.
seen her in a while. We just got Electra back. Where's Ivy?
Right. And I didn't hear anything in regards to the actress. I know she's set to getting married very soon.
Oh, okay.
Um, I but they mentioned her when today's episode, like, oh, I got to get over to Forrester with Ivy or something. So maybe she might come back. But even still, she is single.
Mm-hmm.
Liam hasn't had any almost 2 years. No woman wants to even remember his birthday.
Wow.
Here,
Yeah.
like, look, like I don't see why they haven't paired those two together.
Yeah, you would think they would have, but
They can barely put Ivy on screen as is, and every time she is on screen, it's got something to do with Electra.
right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, all right, did we cover everything on this one? I think so.
Uh, what else happened? I think so. Steffi and Taylor with her
Girl, that scene was
non-dancing.
as you call it, a filler. I
That
guess.
was a filler. Annika knocked it out of the park. Actually, I think even Heather Tom, that whole episode was incredible. Good for her.
Mm-hmm.
Acting wise, too, the way that she got into Hope's face and said, look, you're not going to talk to my sister that way. I was like, okay.
I mean, but think about it. That's what aunties used to do back in the day. Who you talking to? That's your mama. Don't
Yep.
talk to my sister like that.
Yep. And she quickly grabbed that hand as soon as like Hope was about to wind up. Nope.
Yeah, Hope
Nope.
needs to go take some time somewhere. Maybe her and Phyllis maybe need to go and, get into one of those groups and have a conversation.
The only thing I was disappointed with was what we talked about in the group chat earlier was the immediate "I'm sorry" at the very end of the scene.
Oh, with Brooke?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they should have let Hope walk out, and then I don't know, maybe her and Brooke are giving each other the silent treatment for a couple of weeks or something like that. But having them immediately hug and she's telling her mom she's sorry, it's like, dang it, that kind of takes away from it. Like, for
Right.
once, can we just have them play this out for a few weeks, and then they can, start to mend fences with each other.
I agree
But it's
with that.
always with Brooke. It's always immediate forgiveness, whether it's she's getting the forgiveness from somebody, or vice versa.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. I agree. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Let us move it along. How many folks we got now, Bree?
Oh, it definitely went up. We had 163 and we got 73 likes.
Oh, okay. Get the likes up, you guys. Make sure again you subscribe, follow us on all the other platforms. We got to talk about Beyond the Gates, and we didn't get any romance scenes this week. We got Naomi suing her dad. We got this whole drama between Kat and Eva with Tomas, and Kat trying to set her up, and I'm like, girl, why you leave your phone? But she didn't know the girl was even in the house. So, and then Leslie, aka Dana, walking around with all these wigs. She got more wigs than Jordan do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That might be a Jordan wig right there. Just a different color. It's the same color.
She got more wigs. That is so funny. Every time you look up, she got a different wig. I'm like, dang, who you been talking to, Jordan?
So she's Mary J. Blige this week.
You silly. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
That's
what's your
exact
thoughts on
wig.
everything? And then we had the debate between Martin and Smitty and their jobs and the kids, and so anything?
Oh, go ahead, Keith.
I was gonna start with Martin and Smitty. He's just so, I don't know what the word is for him.
Irritating?
The way he treats his, yes, like the way he treats his husband. That whole thing where he basically told that the journalist that his husband wasn't going to be interested in the job that he wanted to offer him, and then they saw him in the restaurant, and it's like he's just so sneaky and manipulative, and I feel sorry for Smitty, but Smitty also allows him to do it. Like every time he confronts Martin with something, like he's angry, and then it's immediately forgiveness, and he just lets it go. And it's kind of like let's not have to go through this again. And then Martin does something else again, and it's the same conversation. So it's not that I'm making excuses for Martin, but it's almost like Smitty enables him to do that.
I agree. I think that Smitty is just not a confrontational person, because like in his demeanor and almost like his personality, he'll say his piece and he'll voice his concerns, but then he kind of goes into this sort of mode where he just wants to just make peace of everything and, just move on past the issue. So I get where you're coming from as far as Martin. I feel like he's a bit of a control freak, and there were some people online who were saying that he and Steffy are similar. I kind of see that, yes.
I don't see that at all.
Martin this man is a hothead to me. He don't listen to his grandfather. He don't listen to his grandmother. He want to do what he want to do. He want to override and supersede things in the house. So you're going to do what I tell you to do. Now I'm not going to let you do this. You need to stay home with the kids. And I'm like, they're 17, for God's sakes.
Right, he acting like they 5.
Right.
Yeah.
Not wanting him to work because for what reason?
And I mean, even like, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say it's like he needs Smitty to have all the attention on him and cater to him and just be there for him, and that's it. Smitty can't do anything, for himself. He can't go back to work. He can't. I don't know. I just.
What I think it is? I think Martin feels that with Smitty at home and tending to the kids, it keeps him occupied so he doesn't inch to try to get into that realm where it's known for exposing people. Now that he wants to become a reporter, he understands that that's going to come with, an obligation to put people's business out there. And he knows he comes from a family who's always in the news for whatever reason. So as long as if Smitty were to say that he wanted to open up a restaurant or anything other than being a reporter, I think he would have supported. I think it's just the line of work that he's in, and he wants to try to keep him busy at home versus worrying about reporting about something.
Well,
But that's what he was before they got married.
Right. And then the other thing is that if you worried about keeping something quiet, then you don't go and run for the presidency when everybody's gonna be in your business.
Which is exactly what his grandfather was trying to get across.
Exactly. And this secret, he is still, because Smitty asked him at Orphe Jeans whether or not is there any other secrets. No, you still lying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and at first I didn't think that he knew what he did. I thought it was Vernon and Anita knew what he did. Maybe he blacked out, but he's fully aware that he did something.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, you know this in the back of your head, but you want to run for president, honestly thinking it would never come out. And you know that Bill has something hanging over your head.
Right. That's close to home. That ain't even outside reporters. Bill know this secret. That's the worst
and he
thing
hates
you can
them.
do. Exactly. He's so, and I think Vernon said this before in the past. He's arrogant. His ego.
Yeah.
I do find rich is the fact that Ted and Nicole don't interact with him much, like they do Kat. We hardly ever get scenes with his parents with him.
Well, I could understand that because, like, Martin and Smitty, they have all this stuff going on. Him being a congressman, I can imagine him being busy, and then on top of that, their parents. Whereas Kat just has herself.
Trying to keep Leslie out the way.
My man, I'm so disappointed. I'm so heartbroken about that. We'll come to that. But Kat has, she has nothing going on except for herself. And I think she lives there part-time, so they see her.
Yeah, but like with Danny, she gets interaction with both her daughters.
Mm.
I think it's kind of the same. She spends more time regarding Chelsea because they're in the same line of work, kind of like how Kat was helping her dad out. And she's always at the hospital with her dad and her mom. Whereas Naomi, she has her own law firm, so she's wrapped in her own world and her own marriage.
Yeah. Well, anyway, my thing is with those two is that dude first of all, he need to tell Smitty what the secret is, I would think. Because, eventually it's going to come out.
Mm-hmm.
And especially if you think you're just going to defy your grandparents who know better, and Vernon is a senator himself, retired. He knows how politics work. He's a senator himself, isn't he?
Martin. I think he's retired.
Martin.
Sorry, Martin's a congressman.
So he's in politics. You should already know how dirty that is, especially if you're going to run for the top seat.
Yeah. And probably witness to what his grandfather went through as a senator for years. But his family, he comes from a famous family. He knows that people dig into stuff. And Smitty was right. Like, they're going to tear into him, the marriage, and the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And you're making moves behind the scenes and not letting your family know. So you're going to blindside your family when you feel good and ready. That part I don't agree with.
Right, I agree. Oh, Lord. All right. What about this whole thing with Kat and Eva and Tomas?
Oh, goodness. He has chemistry with both women. And I wonder if eventually Eva and Tomas are actually going to get into something. Like, I can see her being petty in that way.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't really feel like he's really putting much stock into anything with Eva. I think he's enjoying the flirtation. But it sounds like he's really trying to see what could happen with Kat.
Yeah, he's definitely entertaining it. I
Yeah,
mean,
he's definitely going to be entertained when they find out they're twins.
yeah, he's definitely
But
entertaining it. Go ahead.
I don't know. I love Tomas. Tomas is, I was like, oh, goodness.
Mm-hmm.
In
Yeah.
his suits, the way he puts himself together, just very, go getters. Like, oh,
Do you think
Tomas.
Nicole and Ted are that snowed over Eva? Because I mean they're definitely not trying to hear anything Kat is saying. But Kat is seeing all kind of red flags with this situation, and her parents is just being very dismissive.
I Something tells me this is not the only time that Kat has probably done this. That's why they're probably being more stern and telling her to, give this person a chance. It sounds like she's had, a habit of prejudging people who are not of the stature. Um, she liked the first assistant. She was perfectly fine with that girl. But I also feel that at the same time, she has her guard up and wants to be protective of her family. Or maybe it might be where she just wants to, prove that she's right and they're wrong. It could be a number of things. But I wish with how intelligent both of the doctors are, they can at least keep their, ears open to hear what this girl had to say, because you never know.
Right.
Especially Ted.
Right. He has no clue that this is a Leslie plant in front of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And this broke my heart, the fact that he knew about the baby.
Yeah.
I think I was saying in the group chat that 95% he didn't know, but maybe 5% he knows about the baby. He's been paying it off. Why did it have to be 5%?
When was that revealed? What?
That was today's episode where he knows about the baby that Leslie had, he was paying her off.
But I thought he asked her. He said, "You sure you got the AB?" I heard him say that.
Yeah, but he knew that she was pregnant with his child.
Mm-hmm.
And this whole time we're thinking that maybe he wasn't unaware that she was pregnant at all, or that she had a child with him. He knew.
Oh wow, I totally missed that scene.
That was
in the back
today's
alley
episode. Yeah,
I'm gonna have to
because he was
that
offering. Because he even asked her, how much is it going to take for you to keep that secret to yourself and go away? She's talking about 50,000.
Right, I did hear that, but I thought he was still trying to keep the affair secret, and he found out that she got pregnant. But he asked her, "But you did get the AB, right?" And she said, "Yeah, I got the AB." But you saying that he knew that there's a live child?
No, I'm talking about she was pregnant.
Oh, you talking about
we were thinking it was just the affair.
Okay, I got you. The pregnancy itself. Okay, gotcha. Mm-hmm. Okay, gotcha. I'm on the same page with you now. Mm-mm. What about this? Go ahead.
No, I was just so disappointed. I'm like, sir, you knew about this?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep. And while Danny is going through this with Bill, her sister Nicole is about to go through something with Ted.
And that's what so when all this comes out, that's what I'm waiting to see, is how Nicole is going to handle it, because she's so like calm and put together, and she's like the voice of reason, super sweet. So it'll be interesting to see if she, has some kind of breakdown, or if she just goes off on Ted, or I want to see how she handles it. Right. I want to see if when she's angry, if she can get just as unhinged as Danny can.
Gotcha.
She reminds me of Taylor so much.
What?
Oh, the old Taylor.
Oh, the old Taylor.
Mm-hmm. Nicole. So I can see her definitely going off the rails, especially that's life-changing. Your husband had a whole affair and had a child. He was paying off Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, that's crazy.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be a big blow up. And I was hoping for that video, and she finally got it. Her phone died. She was getting over to the house only for old girl to see her phone and erase the video. I'm like, crap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was hoping she catch her. I'm like, well, they're dragging this story out. I see.
Do you guys feel so? Maybe it's just me, but sometimes I feel sorry for Eva because I feel like she knows that her mom is a little unhinged, and I feel like she tries to. I feel like she has to parent her, if
Yeah.
that makes any sense. Like she tries to do things to keep her mom from being completely destructive because she recognizes that she can go off the rails, but she knows that her mom is unhinged because questioning her about whether or not she had something to do with the accident of Nicole's assistant would mean that she knows that her mom is capable of something like that. So in that episode where they kind of she was looking at the picture of Ted and Nicole and then imagining that it was her mom,
Mhm.
and then she kind of sits there and she has tears coming out of her eyes. Like I know she's being deceptive with them, but she seems like the type of kid that tries to make her mom happy because her mom is clearly she's got some issues, but she also she cares about Ted and Nicole too,
Mhm.
because which you can tell when she tries to get her mom to kind of like change course with some of the things that she's planning because she doesn't want to hurt Nicole because Nicole had nothing to do with this. I don't know. Sometimes I feel sorry for Eva.
Gotcha. I guess.
I,
Okay.
I feel sorry to a point because she's still carrying out with the whole plan. And
Yeah.
that's the part that I don't understand with Leslie. It's like, why does it have to be a huge, like, dramatic thing? If he's the father, it's not going to change the result or how you deliver it.
Mhm.
And even said, like, hey, we can pull him to the side and I can tell him that I'm his daughter and then work it out from there. It just has to be this big dramatic thing for whatever reason.
Right.
That's why it's hard for me to believe that she's the mother.
I think she just wants to embarrass him in front of all his rich friends and embarrass Nicole because Nicole is
Not
in the position that she wants to be in.
exactly. She wants to be where he is. But Nicole also has the family. I don't know what type of background Ted has. Obviously, he's a doctor. But a lot of that prestige and clout comes from the fact that Nicole is a Dupree. So,
Mhm.
so even if she was in Ted's position, don't mean that she's going to have the same notoriety as Nicole.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Hmm.
But I don't know. And the fact is, like, I hate that Leslie keeps saying that your daddy didn't give me a dime. I'm like, he paid you guys off. So what did you do with all that money? That you have to go back to this man again and try to get some more money out of him.
Well, that's because you can. If you got a big
Yeah.
secret like that, she gonna keep coming back from now into forever.
Yep. And until the truth comes out,
Right.
she has that hanging over his head, so she can ask him for as much money as she wants to.
Yeah. He the way to get himself off the hook is, and I honestly, I don't know if she would. I'm not saying that she will or she wouldn't accept it, but he need to sit down with Nicole and have that conversation,
Mm-hmm.
and that takes
Are
all the power away from Leslie.
you don't like the wig indigo blue? You don't like the Mary J. Blige Nene Leakes wig? Is it the color?
Probably the color, but obviously it's the disguise of it all. But
I'm like,
yeah,
how many personalities you got, girl?
so now we got to talk about this whole case with Bill and his daughter Naomi suing, because they was about to drop that. They was like, nah, you know what? Maybe it's not a good idea. You represent us, and she was like, oh, I'll do it. And I'm like, okay, you know. So and Bill thinks that honestly this could be easily thrown out because isn't it a conflict of interest? She's too close.
I get, well, maybe it's like a soap.
Right.
loophole or something, because I was going to try to make it a point of reference. I remember, if anyone remembers Avery Clark on YNR, she's Phyllis's sister. She was intermingled with a lot of different lawsuits, including one with her sister. So I guess, it's shouldn't be a big issue. But it's happening. And I'm glad that she is standing up to her father, because the fact that he's brushing this off, like, why would your daughter just take a case if there's no validity to it? Clearly, these women are saying they were harassed. You're not even trying to remotely look into it.
Well, he knows it. That guy, that Mike or whatever his name is, was talking about his own wife. So
Yeah, I feel like he was just trying to gaslight her.
he knows. Yeah. So, and then we see Haley getting all jealous and whatnot with that client that he claims he's trying to fake out. I didn't understand that whole thing. Maybe y'all can clear it up for me. I don't know. What y'all think about that?
How you got him is how you gonna lose him.
Yeah, well, that's true.
I thought that clearly, to me, I thought it was just a client, because it was too heavy on the dialogue to make it seem like it was something other than what it was. Like, I didn't think that was him sneaking around with another woman. I felt like that was just set up because Haley was standing right there. So they set that dialogue up to make Haley think that he was doing something he wasn't supposed to be doing.
Yeah, well, that's how she got with him, so of course she gonna
Yeah.
think he's cheating.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I expect nothing less. She's about to get the same treatment that Danny got, probably worse.
Oh yeah, it's gonna happen for sure.
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
go ahead.
So a part of me feels like maybe it could be true that he was sleeping with that woman. Because imagine the lies that he told Danny when she probably had
He had to lie to Danny, remember?
Danny knew about all of
Danny
his
knew
affairs.
about his affairs. She just turned a blind eye.
Exactly, which makes me wonder if he just told her a lie that she went with, but she knew in the back of her mind he was cheating. It could be the same thing here with Haley.
If he was cheating on his wife of 20-some years, it's coming for Haley too.
For sure.
And it's been multiple with Danny. Now he claims, "Oh, you the one I want, and you this and that." Yeah, y'all in the honeymoon phase. But that's why she acting and feeling some kind of way, because she know that's what she was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, exactly, Delmonica. Karma.
Oh yeah,
it's coming. Yep. So.
How about Haley though trying to confront Naomi about the lawsuit?
She need to go take several seats.
Seriously. And then like towards the end of that conversation, it was like she kind of got nasty with her about it.
Yeah, she did, talking about bring it on and we're going to crush you and all this other kind of stuff. I'm like, you just throwing more oil and gasoline on a fire. I mean, and she want them to be friends, and I miss the friendship.
Yeah.
Do you actually think this girl going to be friends with you after you cheated with my father on my mother, and now you're married to the guy? Oh, okay.
What did she say to her? She said something like, this isn't the Naomi that I knew, or something like that. This girl, the lack of self-awareness that this woman has is astounding. Like, you're going to say that to her after what you did?
Right.
And having an affair with your best friend's father.
Right.
And then gonna say something like, are you really that bitter about this that you would sue your own father? Like, Jesus Christ. Every time she talks to somebody, it's just, I don't know. You want to put a dunce cap on her.
Well, dang.
Like, this girl can't read a room for nothing.
It's all about her. It's about what's beneficial to her. So she's, yeah.
First trying to, oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead, Keish.
I was just gonna say first she had her little forced interaction with Jacob, and then this interaction with Naomi. She stayed making people talk to her.
Mm-hmm. It's like, girl, just go home, enjoy your new mansion, and stay out the way. And you can't force yourself upon these people after everything that's happened.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So.
I can't stand Raggedy Ann. She is in desperation for anybody to talk to her. She is a chihuahua in desperation for attention. The way that Jacob was trying to be cold to her, even though he should never have spoke to this woman in the first place. Mm-hmm. But the way he stood up for his wife, mm-hmm. I appreciated it. But this girl had the nerve to go up to Naomi and say, like, what the hell are you doing? Excuse you?
Right.
First of all, this got nothing to do with you. And she's like, well, if you sue the firm, you sue my husband, you're dealing with me. Girl, no. You're not sending a check. You have nothing to do with this. As a matter of fact, you got your position at those women's expense. Like, I was more upset with Naomi because I felt that she should have digged into her. We all been waiting for this interaction. And I felt what happened, in my opinion, was a bit lukewarm because there was a lot of daggers that could have been thrown at Haley. Like, I did appreciate the fact that, yeah, you were sleeping around, you were on your back for my daddy. You completely forgot about the friendship. Mm-hmm. But we're sisters. No, we're not.
Right.
I got a sister. Thank you very much. Mm-hmm. You can go back underneath the gutter. Like, there's different things I was hoping Naomi would say in that interaction, but at least we got it. But the way that Haley was trying to dig into it, like, we're going to take your little law firm down. I mean, like, look, don't have me get a pew like my mama did. Please understand about the miss.
Girl, you crazy.
I actually like the way Jacob responded to her because he kept, like, his tone of voice was stern and like, I really don't want to talk to you. He tried to walk away from her and she grabbed his arm and he looked down at her hand like, why are you touching me? Like, I think I said this in the group chat. The kind of energy that he gave Haley is the kind of energy that Finn should be giving Hope that he doesn't. Mm-hmm. Like, even after Hope did all that she did last summer, the next time he saw her, even after that forced kiss, it was, oh, hey, Hope. Like, no, Finn, that's not how you address her. This is a woman who was actively trying to ruin your marriage, who hates your wife. Why are you still being friendly with her? Mm-hmm. And Jacob, the way Jacob spoke to Haley is exactly how he should have. Even though he did, he stood there and let her talk, he still had an unimpressed look on her face. He still, was very annoyed with her and basically said, whatever my wife wants is what I want. And my wife ain't fooling with you, so I don't either.
Yeah, you know what the annoying part about this whole thing with this girl? She keeps saying, like, all I did was fall in love. You guys can be this petty about this. Girl.
Yeah, she's getting on my nerves with that one.
I know, right?
And I love that Naomi said to her, you act like you couldn't have kept your drawers on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Oh,
but
Lord.
But she's so...
I know, right?
There's a couple people in the chat saying that they aren't really able to hear the volume's low on your side.
I don't know why. we all three of us are going through the same microphone on my computer, so.
Okay. It's 1.8, but I just I can't stand Haley. I love the actress, great actress. I just can't stand the character. Mm-hmm. It's just her and Hope need to be friends.
You're so funny.
The two H's.
Yeah, Haley and Hope.
In a couple of different ways.
Right. Ooh, dang. Yeah, that's funny.
Look, one was successful over the other.
I know, right? All right. We gotta get to our last 4 segments. Flip the script. Who taking several seats? Star of the week, pickle of the week, and our simp award. All right. right. So what y'all flipping for the Young and the Restless?
Mm-hmm.
I would flip and have Victoria actually give her brother a chance
Mm-hmm.
and get over her grudge and the fact that she'll never get to be like Adam, and just accept that and move on like an adult.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Keish?
I don't have a flip, so I'm just gonna go along with Breeze.
Oh, okay. Um, if I had to flip anything, I would have Phyllis walk away from this thing with Billy. I mean, yeah, she probably won't have anything to do, but all this is gonna do is she just got out of something crazy, and now you finna go up against Victor again? Nah,
Mm.
nah. I see you when you get back. All right, bold flip.
Okay. They're still saying they can't hear you, T.
I can't turn up my volume. It's not set up that way. Maybe I'm just talking low. I don't know, but go ahead.
The flip bold. I want Brooke to kick Hope out entirely. Tell her move out today.
Yeah. Okay. What
Get
about you?
get off my property.
I I guess I kind of already set my flip earlier, where I I wanted Hope to just walk out of the house instead of Brooke stopping her and hugging her, and them having that moment where she's saying she's sorry. Like I just wanted her to leave the house angry. That way they could have, a few weeks of the two of them kind of bumping heads, but then, finding their way back to forgiving each other.
Gotcha.
Oh, yeah. Actually, what should have happened is Hope actually should have slapped Brooke, and I think we probably would have got that reaction out of Brooke to kick her out entirely. No hugging, no nothing, no forgiveness, no nothing.
I wouldn't have minded that. I wouldn't have minded Hope slapping her and then Brooke slapping her right back.
Yeah, make it even exchange.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
If I had to do a flip for bold shoot, maybe have Luna and Will walk off anyway. Come on, yeah, let's go. Not
We'll
too.
got to make her work for it.
Mm-hmm. What's your flip for Beyond the Gates?
Mm. Ah,
You know what? Danny taking her sister's advice, because this is a state. She said that if she had a chance, and Bill said, come back into my bed or come back into my world, she said that she would do it. She would jump at the moment. I would love to see Danny date some of the fine men on this show.
mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
Jacob's daddy.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Mm-hmm. I just wish that whatever was on Kat's video could have been seen. I just hate that she's going through this whole thing with her parents and they're just like, oh, stop, give her a chance, leave her alone. And it's like, this girl is all up in your files and everything.
Yeah.
So
they should have cameras in the house.
You would think. You would think. All right, who's taking seats on The Young and the Restless?
Martin for sure, and Michael. Yeah, Martin, Michael, and Lily.
Heesh.
I'll give Lily a seat.
Yeah, Lily is definitely getting a seat.
Just ruined this whole Damien thing.
I know. It's just like, girl, why? All right, who getting seats on Bold?
Hope for sure.
Hope.
Yeah, I agree with that. Hope. And then on Beyond the Gates,
Haley. Or not, yeah. Well, yes, Haley. Also Danny, though.
Yeah, Danny definitely. Yeah. What about you, Bree?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Haley for sure.
I agree. We might as well
And
give.
actually, give Leslie the color of that wig a seat too.
I'm gonna
Give it.
also give Martin a seat too, cause it's like, dude, you need to chill out. Your grandparents are trying to tell you, and you
Oh
don't
yeah.
listen.
I feel like Martin is going to have a permanent seat for a very long time until this secret comes out and he apologizes to his husband for being a jerk all this time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I have one more seat, you guys. I'm so sorry for VTG. The people who replaced my Ted.
Yeah, the producers.
Yeah. Same
Okay.
way Dewan says, not my Taylor. Well, that's not my Ted. I'm just saying.
Wow. All
Look,
right. Star.
apologies.
Oh, so funny. Star of the week. Young and the Restless. I'm gonna give it to Michelle Stafford.
I agree.
I'm going to give it to Beth Maitland.
Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah, Tracy.
Tracy. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Bold, Annika, and
Oh,
KKL.
yep.
Yeah, actually, I'll all three of them in that scene.
Oh, Heather Tom.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Also, but you know what? Lawrence St. Victor also did a good job in the cabin when he was.
Simping.
I know, yeah, but the tears and he kind of raised his voice at Hope when she was basically saying you threw me under the bus. And what did he say to her? Something about I do one thing you don't like and you throw me away or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. Both had a lot of a good. They had a lot of good scenes and emotional
Dialogue
scenes
and
this week. Yeah, and
Yeah.
dialogue.
Yeah, I agree. And then on BTG, I'm gonna give it to Leslie. The girl that can play a slickster.
I'm gonna do Leslie and Eva.
Okay.
yeah, I'm gonna give it to Leslie. Um and also a little bit of the actress who plays Haley too, because the fact that she's annoying, she's doing her job. Um but Leslie, this woman is like flipping all kind of personalities. I'm like, you're doing more than what she was ever done.
Oh, wait a minute. We gotta give Lisa Yamada a star too.
Yes. How do we forget?
Oh my gosh, that girl know how to shift in so many directions with her dialogue. The girl she on point.
She know how to play the bad girl.
Mm-hmm.
She got that boy biting his lip.
Mm-hmm. All right, and pickle of the week.
For
YNR.
YNR. That's a good question. Lily. Because you got Victor's wheels spinning now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll go with Lily.
Yeah, definitely Lily. Oh, yeah, she got it unanimously. What about Bold Pickle Taylor?
Hope at her delusion, and Brooke too.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Hope.
Mm-hmm.
Cause her delusion was on level 1,000.
Oh man, tell me about it. And then on BTG,
Ted. Now that I didn't hear the AB thing with Leslie, but Bree explaining that to us, I'm like, that is awful.
I'm give it to Martin
because he knew this whole time.
Yeah, Martin get a pickle because hothead.
Yeah, mine is my Ted, unfortunately.
Okay.
So you knew you got that girl pregnant. You try to pay it off. That's just wasn't expecting that.
And then who get our Simple Olympics and I mean all that begging this week. Oh my goodness. And I know he won't hold back, but oof.
I was gonna give it to Brooke, actually.
Well, yeah, when she tried to shoot a shot with Ridge. I can agree with that.
The fact that she was just smiling, she just knew. All it took for him to get his job back. He's gonna come back to me, just smiling and everything. Like I'm your Logan. You go ahead and come back home. The level of simphood. I don't know. It's neck and neck between her and Carter.
Yeah, because I mean, that girl was cutting him off at the knees and he was still begging. I'm like, dude,
Mm-hmm.
walk out with your dignity.
Yeah. But,
So, all right. We had another great week. Bowl knocked it out the park. Shout out again to Heather Tom, who did that
mm-hmm.
all woman episode for Women's, what is it, Empowerment Month or something, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Women's History Month.
Women's History Month.
Heritage
Right.
Month. Yeah.
And so she knocked it out the park with that, and so did Annika and KKL. Lisa Yamada did her thing. Leslie did her thing with that wig, and Michelle Stafford. Yeah, I mean the emotion was there. I was like, oh, let me get some tissue too. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they really rocked out. We had a lot of good episodes and a lot of good content to discuss. So the spoiler is already out for Bolds, and so you can go over there and check that out. And other than that, until then, that's all I got. What about y'all? Y'all good?
Yep. Good to go.
I'm good.
All right.
Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Make sure on the way out you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. And until the next video, we will see you all later. Bye, Soapies.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.